Hi. You don't want a stool?
All right, what's going on, guys? So I'm starting a new kind of a segment of videos called Guitar Stories. I know a lot of people have done stuff like this before, but now that I'm starting doing a thing where I'm working on other people's guitars for them, I thought it'd be really cool that instead of just showcasing the guitar, saying what it was, where it came from, that type of thing, in my words, I thought it'd be cool to speak to the owners themselves. That way we could go over the history of the instrument, where they got it from, that type of thing. Maybe make it a little bit more interesting, more personal, instead of just some guy talking about a guitar that isn't his. And I feel like there's enough of that on the internet already.
Yeah.
So, and there's a high possibility of me being able to work on some really unique instruments in the upcoming year for sure. And I thought it was really cool that I got to start off with a really neat one, and that was my buddy Andrew's Schecter Strat. So before we dig it out, why don't you tell us a little bit about the instrument itself?
Yeah. So from what I know about it, it's a 1980s Schecter kind of. I think it's a custom build. It's got stampings that would be kind of from the early shops. I need to contact Schecter about it and just figure it out. But yeah, so that's about that. How I acquired it. It was really funny. So Schuyler, myself, and our good buddy Ben, his brother-in-law, we all frequent our local guitar center.
Like an obsessive amount.
Yeah, it's kind of unhealthy.
Not because it's good, although I'm not throwing shade at Guitar Center, but sometimes your stores are trash.
But hey, Guitar Center, if you watch, we'll take a little gift card or something. Anyways.
They're not going to send us anything.
No, they're not. So we all kind of frequent there, and I think I went alone once.
That was a mistake.
It is. It's typically a mistake. And I spotted this guitar, and I instantly saw the price tag, and I'm like, whatever. Nah. But I picked it up, and I was like, wow, this is a really unique instrument. Because it didn't have like any of like the Schecter series or anything like that. It was just a Strat that had a Schecter headstock, and I knew Schecter being these like crazy metal.
Right, you're
guitars.
thinking like a Hellraiser or a C1 or something like that.
Yeah, some 10 string.
Right, or
ridiculous guitar.
A genty boy.
Yeah, a little and so I picked it up, and the first thing I really noticed about it is, as you'll see in a moment, the neck is really unique, as it's all one wood. More to come on that. And it was a little bit chunkier than most Strat necks.
Yeah.
And so I picked it up. I really fell in love with it, but I was like, that price tag is not for me. And so I put it back, and then I think it was like a week later, I was talking to Schuyler and Ben. I'm like, yo, there's this guitar. And Ben had gone separate from the group, and he was like, I played it, just get it.
Yeah.
Just get it. And I was like, I don't know. So I went back, still on my lonesome. Big mistake.
You gotta take backup, man.
Because as much as we talk each other into gear, we talk each other out of gear for our own sanity.
Yeah.
And so I went alone, and there was this guy who I had befriended. He was kind of newer to the Guitar Center staff.
Oh yeah, I remember that guy.
Yeah, he was a cool dude.
Yeah.
And so he was like, "Yo, that's a sick guitar," and he like sat me down with it, and like, here's an amp, here's a cable, just play. So I sat there and played it for like an hour, because I just got off class or something, and just played it, and I was like, every time I stopped, I was like going back to my phone and like looking at my bank account. And I was like, I gotta rationalize this somehow.
How are we gonna make this work?
Exactly. And so,
do I not eat for like 7 days, or
I'm just gonna starve. I'm gonna have a guitar, but I'm gonna starve. And I'm a bit of a, a bit plumper, so that wouldn't have flown. And so I put it on layaway, and just kind of left it for a week because their policy is like, come get it in 30 days.
right.
Whatever. And then I got really, not homesick. That's not the right word.
No,
but it was like the guitar was homesick.
Right.
I had to get my
there
child.
was a longing for it. Yeah.
It's like sending a child to like day camp or something.
Yeah.
Like in the summer.
But you're not actually sure if you're going to see the child again.
Yeah, exactly.
The feeling we all know.
And so, like a week later, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna pay the rest of it. And I ended up like making alterations to the layaway, which ended up being this whole kerfuffle. And
it was a kerfuffle.
It was a kerfuffle, but we made it.
We made it. We did it.
And I think it was like that night. I was like, yeah, I made it.
Yeah.
And I've never been the same since.
Changed man.
Yes.
Two things have changed Andrew's life: Jesus and this guitar.
Indeed. If only two things. It's this guitar and Jesus Christ,
his Lord and Savior.
So yeah, I mean that's kind of the gist of it.
The history of the guitar.
Yeah.
So I remember when he brought it over the first time, because I don't remember if I ever got to play it in store.
No.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, so I had no idea of what it was. They had mentioned it, and I had been around Ben when he was trying to talk Andrew into getting it, which always goes well. And he brings it over, and we were actually in this room, long time ago when he actually officially brought it over the first time. And I remember seeing it, just thinking like that is one of the coolest Strats I've ever seen. And then just blown away that it was a Schecter. It sounded amazing. And it's like you'll hear it on the clean tone here in a little bit, like the clean channel of the amp. Just like it's so chimey and perfect, like it's just pristine and it sounds great, but it also can get gritty. And it's a weird kind of anomaly of a guitar, because there's things about it that just never quite like I'd never quite heard on a guitar before. And I don't know, whatever pickups are on it, like so much of it is a mystery to us of like what actually happened with this guitar. And like it really could just be like a Schecter neck on whatever, like we don't know. Like we don't know where the pickups came from, hardware, nothing. So
yeah,
I don't know.
It's a mystery, but it's a wonderful mystery.
It's a wonderful mystery, and it's a great sounding mystery.
Oh yeah.
So should we play it?
Yeah,
let's at least look at it first, for sure.
Yeah. So this is it.
Woo!
I don't know how it looks on camera, but it's kind of a seafoam green.
Yeah.
The finish on it over time has cracked, so it kind of looks like the desert.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
For sure.
Which is really cool. And the neck, as I was talking about earlier, you can probably see that it's kind of like a rosewoody thing, and then the back is the same.
Yeah.
So it just looks all one piece of wood, and I always find that
utterly fascinating.
Cool about guitars and just in general. And yeah, it's got a 6-screw Fender style bridge. Yeah. 3 single coils. What's really cool about it that Ben noticed,
and then I eventually noticed,
and then Schuyler noticed
today,
is, how on most Strats you have your neck and middle pickup have the tone control,
right?
And then your bridge is
doing its own thing.
Yeah, it's on its own. It's a lone wolf. But with this guitar, Anyway, with this guitar, the neck and bridge pickup are both tone controlled.
Yeah, I mean they have their own
their own tone pot.
Right.
And the middle pickup
doesn't.
And so that kind of gives it that one of a kind type of sound, and I really love it.
Yeah.
I've used it here and there. I don't play guitar as much as I would like to. I'm getting back into it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's just a super beast of a guitar. And I think part of why I like it so much is that mystery that we were just talking about. It's older than I am and has lived quite a life.
Evidently.
It just made evident by buckle rash on the back and how cracked the finish is. It's been a well-loved guitar.
Yeah.
And yeah, so.
Oh, yes. So, for me on my end, just want to make sure. Can we see it? Yeah, we can. Hey! So, for me on my end, whenever I got this, all we knew is that it was bottoming out a little bit, like past the 12th fret. We're pretty sure it was just truss rod stuff, which is a super easy fix. The only annoying thing, and you might be able to see this on camera a little bit if I lean it forward, right here is normally where you'd be able to adjust the truss rod on a more modern instrument. However, this is definitely vintage, for sure.
Yeah.
So you actually have to take the neck off, as many of you guys know, and adjust the truss rod back here on the heel. Nothing too crazy, but it's just a little bit harder to do on your own unless you've got the proper tools or whatever, and it's also terrifying. So there's that. But it was one of those situations where like I kept like adjusting it and noticing like some things would change and some things would get better, but other things didn't change. The craziest thing that I didn't know I was gonna have to do was a full fret level. So once I straightened the neck out, I was able to actually level the frets down and do some work on that to eliminate some random string buzz here and there, some dead frets after lowering the strings a little bit, because while neither Andrew and I are like major shredders or anything, we do appreciate a lower action. I know that's personal preference for a lot of people, but a big thing with this is that it's a 9.25 radius, which I learned the other day, fun fact.
Hey.
That's what happens when you get radius gauges in the mail, is you know what radius things are.
Have the proper tools.
Have the proper tools!
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is my favorite position.
Which
position
is
4
Ayo.
or 2,
It's
whatever the neck and middle pickup are.
It's 4.
It's 4. Okay.
Anyone that tells you otherwise is wrong.
Hey, jazz. So yeah. It can get pretty funky. I will say this position.
Yeah,
2.
position 2.
It's a pretty swanky guitar. As most Strats are
Typically, yeah.
pretty swanky.
But it's like, this is a Schecter. That's just like the weird thing. It's hardest to get her over. You
Yeah. And they did a lot of this work in like the 70s and 80s.
See, yeah.
And then that's the third position.
Man, it sounds so good.
There it is.
I was gonna say that note didn't.
Yeah, like it's just a really good sounding guitar, and especially with the work that Schuyler did on it, there's no real intonation issues that there were, and with the fretwork that he did, there's no real dead spots because there were a couple before, and so yeah, it's a really good sounding guitar. Schuyler's definitely a better guitar player than I am.
I'm just a different guitar player, but I'll play it.
Hey.
See if the lead reaches this far.
Lead. Oh, you got your own.
I got my own. I was prepared. Andrew plays his guitars like a flamenco guitarist, like all proper up here.
Well, it's also a short strap.
Also that, and you're a big man.
I'm a big man, so.
Hey, we do. Okay. Yeah, so like I said, we really like that third position, but the odd one I was really catching myself falling in love with was position 2, and I hate this position so much on every Strat. And I don't know why. I don't know. Like I had my very first electric guitar was a cheap Schuyler, like one of those. Like I think it may have been an Affinity. Like I'm trying to think of like what would have like if Affinity
the series that would have been out,
right? Like an Affinity style series because
Yeah.
it came with like a cheap little like
it was a package guitar.
yeah. Like it had the little like tiny amp and all the other
Here's
like
your straps and picks.
yeah, you can do it now. Oh, you're a guitar player. No, you're not. But I remember hating position 2 and being like, that's such a worthless setting. Like this is terrible. Also, I used to play the guitar like a lap steel. I don't know why. Where were my parents? But now, like on this, like I'm really appreciating that really quacky, just. It's got some grade A funk to it. And then old position 4, just. This is nice. It's got so much dynamics, and that's like I think it's my favorite part. Is just because you can go from the to the. Shall we gain?
I think so.
We haven't gained.
We haven't gained yet.
Gain. I dialed back the volume. Like, it's so good, it almost covers for really sloppy blues playing. Like, it's that good.
Yeah.
I mean, almost. Like, it's not like it doesn't do it perfectly, but
I mean, I'm a bass player, and it makes me sound good. So, shaman. Almost copyright.
All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed hearing a little bit more about Andrew Schecter. This is something that I want to do more, for sure. Kind of like I mentioned earlier, just sitting down, talking guitars. As you can see by the range of headstocks we have behind us, we got a few stories over here, a few, and if you can see back in that corner, you'd see more. But this is something that I hope we get to continue doing. If you want to see more, make sure you subscribe so that you can keep seeing these, and I'll be posting on my Instagram as well, Watson Stone Supplies on there. So, and if you got any questions about anything, feel free to hit us up in the comments, or if you know us personally, don't be weird, just say hey.
Yeah. I'm weird. You can be weird too.
That also needs to be a t-shirt. I'm weird. You can be weird too. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. See you around.
Adios. Welcome, tone snobs and gear fobs.